Welcome to The Explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled you're joining us today. We are going to unpack one of the absolute most anticipated and, honestly, most consequential geopolitical shifts of our entire lifetime, the 2026 landscape of Ukraine and European Union relations. You see, this isn't just your everyday news story. It's a massive structural change to the continent itself. So we're going to break down exactly what's happening, why it actually matters, and how it's going to impact the rest of the world. Let's get right into it. The stakes we're talking about here, they are absolutely massive. The source material notes that Ukraine and EU relations have entered a historic period that could quite literally redefine the future of Europe. Think about that for a second. We are looking at a geopolitical shift that is actively reshaping global diplomacy right now, right here in 2026. This isn't some hypothetical scenario anymore. It is unfolding in real time, and it's totally drawing the attention of the entire world. So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, a historic turning point. Second, the road to accession. Third, rebuilding and reforming Ukraine. Fourth, the economic upside. And finally, number 5, the global stakes and future. Starting right off with Section 1, a historic turning point. Right now, there's this really delicate, almost inherent tension going on. On one hand, you have Ukraine's President Zelensky urging accelerated negotiations based on their swift internal reforms. But on the other hand, the EU operates on incredibly strict procedures, insisting that all those uncompromising membership standards absolutely must be fully satisfied. It's such a fascinating dynamic, right? You have a nation's urgent, passionate push for integration meeting this massive institution's rigorous demand for absolute compliance. Moving along to Section 2, the road to accession. Now, you have to remember, Ukraine's journey certainly didn't just happen overnight. It evolved from a consistent, really long-standing desire for integration in years past to a monumental leap when official candidate status was finally achieved. And that brings us right to the complex reality of 2026, navigating these intense, ongoing legal, political, and economic evaluations. It's almost like putting together a giant puzzle where every single piece has to fit perfectly. Breaking this whole process down, there are fundamental mechanical steps required for any candidate country to officially join the European Union bloc. Step 1 is implementing comprehensive democratic and economic reforms. This means fundamentally overhauling internal institutions to meet European standards. Step 2 requires satisfying EU institutional evaluations, which is where that compliance gets rigorously verified. And then finally, Step 3 is achieving full integration and single market access. It is a steep staircase for sure, and skipping a step, well, that just simply isn't an option if the EU is going to maintain the strict integrity of its single market. This brings us to Section 3, rebuilding and reforming Ukraine. Ukraine is currently facing a truly staggering dual mandate. They have to execute these super dense administrative reforms. We're talking about strengthening judicial independence, establishing solid economic governance, and aligning perfectly with complex EU regulations. But they have to do all of that while simultaneously managing the massive physical reconstruction of their infrastructure, supporting displaced communities, and restoring local businesses. It is a massive, massive undertaking. And our sources highlight the EU's neutral, unwavering baseline for entry here. The European Union expects further improvements in public administration, economic governance, and regulatory alignment with EU laws. This is a really clear reminder that despite the immense physical reconstruction required, the bureaucratic and legal standards simply will not be lowered. Achieving this requires serious, long-term investment and unparalleled international cooperation. Let's shift gears to Section 4, the economic upside. Integration acts as a massive economic catalyst. We are looking at increased foreign investment that will naturally fund vastly improved transportation networks and stronger energy cooperation. And as trade opportunities expand across borders, we'll see enhanced agricultural exports feeding the continent, plus the development of modern manufacturing. All of this is supported by greater labor mobility and a massive growth spurt in digital innovation. It's basically a comprehensive economic overhaul. So what does this all mean? Well, the core takeaway is a continental win-win. EU membership isn't just some one-way street of aid. Closer economic integration creates vast new opportunities for businesses and workers throughout the entire European single market. It's a highly symbiotic relationship. Actually, economists point out that this will revitalize current member states just as much as the integrating country. And finally, Section 5, global stakes and future. Ukraine's integration extends so far beyond simple economics. The global impact is virtually an even split. It's equally reshaping political alliances, global trade partnerships, and international security cooperation. These three pillars are inextricably linked, demonstrating that this relationship deeply influences European security, trade networks, and global diplomacy all at the exact same time. It's the whole shebang. Our sources actually define this as the ultimate test. Governments, multinational companies, and global investors are watching this super closely because this process proves whether democratic resilience and international cooperation can effectively rebuild and integrate a nation post-conflict. They know the outcome here isn't just about Europe's internal borders. It's absolutely crucial because it will shape global security frameworks, politics, and economic partnerships for decades to come. Which leaves us with one really critical question to ponder. How will this historic integration reshape the global alliances of tomorrow? The moves being made right now are quite literally drawing the map of the future. Thank you so much for exploring this highly consequential geopolitical story with me today on The Explainer. Definitely keep your eyes on how this unfolds.